Hey, AfterBuzzers! Tonight, Miller is officially missing, Eve is back, and Gabe is Gabe Keating. We are talking How to Get Away with Murder Season 5, Episode 10 right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, it's a remix. Hey.
Oh,
Can we get some lights?
thank you, CJ, for teaching us all about the music. I love it.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, AfterBuzzers! We are back tonight, full panel. So happy.
What's up, guys?
How to Get Away with Murder, talking that crazy episode tonight. I'm your host, April Wissenhant, here with all my people.
Hey guys, Elena here. Hey guys, Jamie Gray.
What's up, CJ Walker? Back again.
Yeah. Be sure to join us in chat. We are all in here, and I've been reading. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late, but looking through all your comments, and they're all so great. I want to hear just, what y'all thought about the episode. I hated missing last week because, dear God, it was so amazing, but what y'all think about tonight?
Ooh,
Oh, silence on the
No,
pen.
it's not silence.
No, kidding.
Tonight was good. What tonight showed me is that this is going to be a really great season because it always takes a little bit to pick up. But tonight we weren't waiting for answers tonight. We got some things, so I'm just like, can we get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a good episode. Last episode was definitely more exciting, but I think this episode, it was good. I think we learned more things. We got our answers, but was it as exciting as the last episode?
I 100% disagree with that statement. I think the last episode was a complete snooze fest. Like, it was so boring, and this one had a lot of action.
We all know he's crazy. Y'all, it's fine.
We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
No, but it was like this one had a lot more action and things happening than the last one. So
You're right. I think that tonight for me, it was like a little almost information overload, which is crazy because I don't think I've ever said that when it comes to the show. If anything, I'm like, they don't give us enough information. But I even my notes are everywhere because there was just so much happening.
But that's how we know it's going to be a great season because this is episode 2 of the mid-season. So they had to almost get all of these little details out so that the ball can get rolling now.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Well, I still have questions about things that I want y'all to help me answer anyway. But we start off the episode where, or I want to start off anyway, talking about Nate, Frank, and Bonnie. They're the only ones at this point who know about Miller, and it starts off with them, discussing if they should tell Analise or not. There's a lot of back and forth with them about the kind of who did it. It's like Bonnie's taking the blame, Nate's taking the blame, of course. Do you think it was a good idea for them to keep it from Analise at first? Because to me it was so odd that I kept forgetting that she didn't know.
Yeah, because it's like they kept going back and forth. It's like I wanted Annalise to know because she's going to find out eventually.
Yeah.
But I think she just had a lot going on. She's finding out about, Gabriel. She's, it's too much. And I want Annalise to not drink. I want her to be able to live her best life and not go through all this stress because homegirl is stressed.
I didn't want her to know.
Yeah.
Not because of the stress part, just because Annalise comes in and she just takes complete control over it. It was very entertaining for me to watch Bonnie, Nate, and Frank figure it out because they suck at it. Like, they didn't have a plan. They didn't know. They were like, no, we can't do that.
They did the worst thing and told Asher.
It was just like, well, no, they didn't tell Asher. They had no choice.
Right.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, and if it was up to Annalise, I think she could have found a loophole to not tell Asher.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely could have left that out. But still, we had the entertaining part of the three of them. What was interesting to me, though, with the three of them was that Bonnie was backing Nate and not Frank. Usually Bonnie and Frank are on the same page. But when Bonnie was backing Nate, it made me feel like something wasn't right.
Well, they
definitely.
killed a person together, so it kind of bonds.
No.
Bonnie, honestly, I feel like the wheels in Bonnie's head are turning because she has to deal with this. She's not even allowing herself to grieve over the fact that she lost Miller. And I think it's like she doesn't want to go against Nate, but it's like I think she feels some type of way, definitely. So...
I think it's tough for her at this point, because she clearly is already questioning if he was even the right person because everyone keeps saying to her in these random instances throughout the show that he's such a good person. Like, oh, he really loved you. When Nate tells her that he's like, look, I found a ring on him. I left it on him. I'm like, oh my God, that's awful. But just the look on her face, you can tell that the wheels are turning already. Obviously, she just went through a lot. Seemingly they murdered someone last night, the night before, whatever it was. But I just thought it was interesting that that was their like first original thought. And to me, I guess maybe because we know all of this other stuff is happening with Annalise, but they don't know. Well, Bonnie does, but the rest of them don't know that all this other stuff is happening with Gabe. At this point, anyway, it's like she's just going to have to go in and fix it again. And of course, if Nate's involved, she's automatically going to want to, because Nate is her boo, whether he is or not.
Her boo at this point.
I know. Annalise is like, everyone
She's
wants
popping,
her.
Yeah.
right? She's popping.
You know what though? Like, okay, from last season to this season, I feel like Nate is almost he's been trying to convince himself that Miller had something to do with his dad, and it's like I think he's been trying to convince Bonnie, and Bonnie's trying to convince herself, like, yeah, he was guilty, and it's like, no, he was not, at all.
I think that Nate doing the whole breakdown that he did of like when they finally sit down with Asher and say, oh wait, no, I wanted to ask y'all that first, because I was a little, not confused, but kind of confused. Whenever Frank goes to Asher and is like, I need you to say that you didn't see me, but that you saw Bonnie with him, he is so upset.
I just want to say, this is just a side note, everybody this episode needed Asher. Asher
Stop it.
was the man but like, they couldn't have done a lot of this without him.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're not wrong, that's for sure. He did kind of come in clutch.
But he's just the worst person to be involved in a lot of things.
He's also like completely dumb, basically.
And unreliable.
Because I mean, granted, we all may have needed Asher this episode. Why would you go back in the house and say, I didn't even know you had a whole day at work,
That's
and then you
true.
said, no, I noticed nothing. What?
he was probably just nervous, like.
No, he's the worst liar. Which I guess it's good, obviously.
Yeah, he's
like
an
Caleb
innocent
Pete.
guy. He doesn't want to get involved in all of this.
What about when he killed that lady?
Okay.
I mean, when he.
Yeah.
Everybody has their moment. I was thinking the same thing.
all have our
That was the
bad
biggest
moments.
one for me.
He's
was
the
that
one before
Sinclair.
Yeah, before Miller, he's the one that like truly murdered someone in cold blood. Like the
Out of
other people
anger.
were kind of accidents or defending someone or whatever. But you're right. He's the most, I would say, quote unquote, innocent out of all of them. But it's like he's also the one that I knew he was gonna bust, and now everyone's gonna be involved. And Michaela can, you know, this is
Michaela,
later in
I
the
don't
episode,
like her.
obviously, but she can read him like a book. But he was being so obvious. They're like, what are you talking about? He's like, nothing. I don't
Michaela
know.
was trying so hard to pull it out of him, though.
Well, but
Was
did you see
she?
how he was looking at
Yeah,
the
she was like-
television?
Right.
She's like
didn't
telling.
look. Yeah, she didn't look at the television. Once he walked in, she was just like,
That's Michaela though, and she's like, so you know nothing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all,
But I feel like she wanted to draw them in. I don't think that was right.
I
Why
mean, she
not?
did. She wanted to know what was going on.
But
sure.
It's just the way she does it, I think, that you may not like.
Yeah, I mean, but that was so unnecessary to bring them all into this new crime.
She could have just asked Asher.
Yeah.
What?
But that's not. I mean,
in
she
what
coulda-
show? What show are we talking about right now?
True.
Right.
I don't know. I forgot. What show is it?
They are a band. They are together. So
Yeah.
there's no way she would have put him to the side and tried to have it by herself. Like, if she's gonna say you have something to tell us, like right now, what I do love about the K4, K5, I don't think we ever decided on what we were gonna call them.
Yeah.
But what I do love about the band is that they really are trying to be more inclusive with information. Like if something's happening, they're sharing it with each other
Yeah.
more instead of keeping the secrets.
But it's like it wasn't his information to share. It's Nate, like the one who truly is the most innocent of them all. Well, not anymore. But
ooh.
it's him that's, you know, he just kind of screwed because none of these people can keep the information to themselves. But even Bonnie, during the part where they're, you know, Nate is telling them this is how it'll go, but we're seeing it happen live, I guess. When the investigator was interviewing her, I was like, what happened to the amazing liar that you are? They're like, Miller's missing. She's like, what? I mean,
Her acting was awful.
did y'all think the same
I
thing?
think I think she was acting to try to be a bad actor.
You know,
So
exactly.
she
That's
was
what I'm
like,
saying. Bonnie,
"Kudos, you got a
not
Grammy."
Liza, but Bonnie.
No,
she
but-
was
yeah.
the bad.
But why would she do that in that moment? Why would she be a bad liar and not? That wouldn't make sense to me.
Maybe she wants them to pick up on something.
No, I think because if she was two together, they would have picked up on that. So it was, let me be a little sloppy and all over the place, and I mean, I don't know, I can't get my thoughts together,
Yeah.
kind of thing, so that they're like, we have nothing to worry about.
Barbara Boyd says, new spin-off idea, how to get arrested for murder.
That kind of sounds like it works, I guess.
Yeah.
I did think it was a genius move of them to tell Asher to, of course, still do your daily routine, whatever you would. And he walks in with the coffee. But then they're already messing up. Like, he's already going a little too far with the receptionist where he's like, so did you get him the new phone? Those are things that people remember. Like, the conversation before that was just very offhand, like, oh, I hope he comes back, or I really think he'll come back. But then when you ask a question, you're never going to be like, so did you get him the new phone when he's missing?
Right.
So it's like all these pieces I feel like are already going to start falling
sometimes
apart.
he can like mess up a little, but his heart's in the right place.
Definitely.
I think that's when he started, though, to try to do his own detective work. When he started asking those questions about the battery.
Asher?
Asher, when he was asking the receptionist about it, it wasn't because it was scripted or they wanted him to be casual. It was because he started to think, no way Miller put a hit out on Nate's dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at that point, he was trying to, like, be Annalise, sir. Try again.
LOL.
Exactly.
LOL.
I think that with this whole scenario, even before Nate actually goes to tell Annalise, seeing kind of how it all breaks down with them, like, I guess I'm getting confused because so many things are coming together or mixing together. So it's also like people are still stalking Gabe, but then it maybe has some connection to, I guess the whole question of the season is going to be who actually killed or who actually ordered the hit on Nate's dad. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then and then something about Gabe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm also with Gabe, with him, me like getting to know the actual character. It's making it hard for me to like disconnect the two because I'm like, I used to be like, I don't like Gabe at all. And then I met Rome and I'm like, he seems like a cool guy. And now I'm like, now Gabe might be a little trustworthy, but still skeptical. I don't know. My mind's just like everywhere now.
Seeing that tear fall down his cheek last week made me maybe trust him a little more.
They tried it this week too with him doing push-ups to a gospel to a church sermon.
He was watching a service.
Right.
I was like,
I'm just like, this, okay.
It's very
okay.
2018 or 2019.
But yeah, me like meeting him in person like is making it hard to disconnect the two.
That makes sense.
For me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about Nate stalking the officers that actually killed his dad because Frank points out that he has, all these marks on his hands and stuff like that. I'm like, why is he putting himself in more trouble until little genius right here?
Yes.
who's the genius?
That's Elena. Hey, it's Lay. So that he was doing it obviously to make sure, to have an excuse of why his hands look like that.
Yeah.
But then
that was smart.
When he's talking to the investigator, though, I thought at first he wasn't doing a good job of covering it up, but then at the end of it, it seemed to kind of make sense, and the investigator even seemed to kind of, take it to heart when he's like, the person who ordered the hit is now, or who ordered the, what's it called? Injunction? Not injunction.
Just the hit. I don't know. Just called it.
It's something.
Yeah, it's okay.
Miller said he was gonna do that thing. Inquest. He ordered the inquest on the officers, and then all of a sudden he's missing. Because at first Nate was seeming, I'm like, wow, you're a terrible liar as well. But then it seems like maybe that was a good idea for him to kind of place that in their minds. Do you think they believed it or no?
I do.
I think they believed it, or at least I believe that they believed it.
Same.
It's Nate. He's very clever this episode, but I hate seeing this side of him where he's just this aggressive, like, killer.
Yeah.
Almost, basically. Yeah.
It reminds me of his dad.
And I was going to talk to that point.
That's
like,
cool.
the fact that the episode is named Don't Go Dark on Me.
Yeah.
Nate I feel like the title of this episode was for Nate. So I believe that the FBI believed him when he was telling the story, but almost too much. So that made me uncomfortable because Nate isn't this person.
Yeah.
And then for him to be smart enough to go fight off the officer who shot his dad, it's like you are now thinking like everyone else. You are
But
now
that's
thinking.
why.
But,
Yeah.
but
He's
that's
been
why
around them. He's been around them so much, he has to think like that.
And I get that, but he's always been like this angel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always been around it, but still been able to rise above it. Now he's sucked into it. Now he literally, his hands has the blood on them, literally.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna get a backstory about how him coming in contact with his father like made him like go a bit crazy and start doing this, because he probably wouldn't have done this in the earlier seasons, but now that he's met his father, that probably like clicked something.
I
and
agree.
Like,
It could have triggered something. Mm-hmm.
But even the scene with him and Annalise when he was finally telling her what he did, I looked at April and I was like, he reminds me exactly of his father right now when he was talking about it.
He sounded like him.
Yeah.
He sounded like he was like far away.
Yeah.
But he's sitting, you know what I mean? But he's sitting there talking to him.
That.
Like he almost seemed like he just wasn't there. Like he's like, this is what happened. I went crazy. Blah 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 blah.
He
whatever
doesn't
he
care
said.
anymore. I just think he doesn't care.
That's what it almost seems like he doesn't even care. I know he doesn't want to get caught, but in certain ways he's seeming to be careless. I don't know. Or it's just cold. But I mean, his dad just died and he just murdered someone. Well, not necessarily careless. That's the wrong word, but I
he's
don't know what I'm trying to
spiraling
say.
down. He's just really crashing.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's not careless about it, but it's making him look very sloppy.
Yeah.
And not put together.
And he hasn't had time to grieve either. You know, it went right into, okay, well, who killed my dad? And, you know, he just never stopped.
Yeah. But what does he tell Annalise at the end? What's his plan?
to pin it on the governor.
On the governor.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So I guess maybe that's where I think of the carelessness, because I feel like at multiple times throughout the episode there was, okay, we're going to come up with this scenario for you and I, Bonnie, and then we're going to have Asher do this. Okay, but then I'm going to put into the investigator's head that maybe it was the officers. Okay, but now I'm going to say it was the governor, and it was the governor, and then she killed him to keep him from squealing. Like, it just seems a little like all over the place.
Yeah, I don't think that his plan's going to work at all. No. Annalise is definitely going to step in and just fix everything.
As per usual.
Even the way he tried to convince her that it was a good plan. He was like, it's a good plan. That was alarming to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like,
I was like, Nate.
What's on? And Annalise's reaction. As she was listening to him, she was just like, what in the holy world?
Because she looks like she feels bad for him. She looks like she's like, oh, honey, you're having a breakdown.
Because she's realizing that he now has turned into this whole nother person.
And maybe he reminds her of herself, because she has always tried to cover up things. I mean, every season. Annalise is known for this. So she's like, okay, this is too much. It's just everyone's spiraling out of control.
And for her, how alarming it would be to have thought that she was saving his dad and then have the same instance almost in front of her in the form of Nate.
Yeah.
And now she's probably going to put herself through hell trying to save him because she couldn't save his dad.
Right.
A whole bunch of people.
Wow.
I feel like they feel this loyalty to Nate because Nate has always Nate always covers up everybody else's mess.
Yeah.
And so I think everyone feels like they owe him one.
Well, I feel like that's why even Michaela is fighting so hard to keep this the fight going for his dad. Like, her whole thing is trying to get someone to pursue the wrongful death case. Shout out to Tegan being back.
I love her.
But everyone seems kind of uninterested because it has really kind of just gone to the wayside at this point. There's a lot more pressing and important stuff going on right now, and she just doesn't seem to get it. But maybe now that she knows about Miller and it was Nate that was involved, she'll get it.
Annalise.
No, Michaela.
Oh, Michaela.
But I liked the fact that Tegan, she doesn't, of course, she has no idea what's going on. And I like the fact that she was like, okay, let me look at this. I was kind of shocked by it because of everyone else seeming so uninterested. But like I said, they have their reasons.
She seems a lot less intense than she was like in the earlier, when we first met her.
Yeah. She does.
Because she has a crush.
But no,
People
like,
get
in
giddy when they have a crush.
Before we knew that she had a crush, she just seems like lighter.
Because she has a crush.
Because she has a crush. Listen.
And so does Crawford. Is this weird to y'all or is it not?
It's kind of disgusting, but it's also kind of cute. Like,
Both of them? Or
I mean,
just
they
Crawford?
like
Just Crawford.
they like the boss women.
Yo, I kind of like that Crawford likes Annalise. I don't know why. I feel like they have this like nerdy flirtation.
It's cute.
Not nerdy on her part,
Right.
But like I feel like she flirts back with him.
No.
I don't know. I do. And then of course she and Tegan definitely have chemistry, but just because someone has chemistry and they're like-minded doesn't mean that they should be a love interest necessarily.
You never know. I don't know.
Her and Tegan have sexual tension.
Yes. That dancing scene from last season.
Yeah, they both just need to get laid. Now,
Annalise hasn't been laid a long time. She definitely needs it.
Yes.
I was gonna say she
Wait,
has,
what do you
but
mean?
she hasn't.
Eve.
No, that
She
was
didn't
I don't
sleep
think
with
they actually
Annalise.
did anything.
That was not recent.
I don't think they did anything.
But they showed them like close the doors. She was like coming out of the bathroom. And
I think that was just to
showered.
tell her, like,
It was innocent.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like close friends
Get
now.
your head out the gutter.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
She has a wife and a baby on the way.
I mean,
Exactly.
look at Sam.
Well, Sam's a different kind of dude, obviously.
Right.
Sam had a lot of chicks. Which was so, oh God, I still have to talk to y'all about last week's episode. I'm going to go in the video
Yes.
from last week and talk to everyone about it. Speaking of Eve, she obviously is in the whole entire episode tonight. Was it super random or extremely random to y'all that it was Frank? It was her who Frank was talking to.
I'm still trying to understand it.
It's very weird to wrap your head around, but it was very random to see
Yeah.
her and Frank. I didn't understand it. Because were they that close in the previous seasons like that?
No, I think she just knew that Frank had that involvement in whatever, and that
Right.
obviously he was a big part of Annalise's life back then. But it's just random.
I think it's because it pops up out of nowhere, but it's like now we know that they've been working together for many years, which is why they hid this from Annalise for so many years.
Yeah. Well,
And it's all full circle now.
like I was saying to y'all before, to me it's just I don't buy the excuse of, oh, okay, I was constantly hacking Sam's email because I was afraid he was going to leave you at the time when you were most vulnerable.
little creepy.
It's like that. It's just too coincidental. But I don't even think that that's a topic that they'll even want us to go into. I don't even think it matters. But it did. I was like, oh, this is too random for
That's
me.
the part that I'm a bit confused about because I personally feel like Eve just has known the whole time. Like
Yeah.
she's known all along, which is trifling if she did.
Wait,
Trifling.
Fina Juliana says she was Vivian's lawyer.
Ooh, for what? Oh no. See what I'm saying?
For
Trifling.
Sam's divorce. Wait.
But no,
Wait.
what was she Vivian's lawyer for? Because Eve is a death penalty lawyer. I guess you can do other stuff, obviously. But what was she her lawyer for?
I don't know, but if it's Vivian and Sam, I'm just wondering, like...
No, Fina, you can't drop something like that. on us
Right.
in the
Maybe
chat.
something everybody
Like-
knows, but not. I don't know.
That's a big one.
But we may have forgotten. We'll see when you answer. But the fact that clearly we are led to think that Annalise did not know who Gabe was or that Sam ever had a son. Do you believe that? Do you think she actually somehow knew, or no? Doesn't really matter anyway.
I don't think she knew at all. And if she had any tinkling about it, I don't think she ever followed up on it. I just don't think she knew.
I feel like it's gonna come out that she did know.
Yeah.
You're lying. Oh my word! I believe
Wait,
you. Sorry.
Thanks,
Fina,
Nubs, for
I say it wrong every time.
Wow.
Was lying. I'm over here like, how did I miss that? Oh my god. Okay, so take back what we said about Eve being Vivian's lawyer. Eve obviously
guys.
had reason to be protective over Annalise because of them being ex-lovers, but it just seems a little too sketchy. But on to bigger and better, obviously. I think Gabe kind of coming out to everyone as Sam's son, even still, I'm like, what play is this? Because he knew that everyone already knew.
Gabe, I know that because Rome was in the studio last week, you may feel like Gabe's a little bit more trusting, but this is exactly what I was talking about with Gabe's character. The way that he tried to play everyone this episode, I wasn't feeling it.
Me either.
Because it was like he was trying to come out.
I love how the tables turn. You guys are always like,
Well,
team.
we can change our mind.
And it's only because he tried to have this moment where he was being honest and telling them the truth. I'm Sam's son.
But they already
X, Y,
knew.
and Z. They knew, but he didn't know that they knew. I don't
He did
think.
know that they knew. That's why he left that voicemail.
Well, maybe. Oh, true. My thing is, though, even while he was trying to confess and tell the truth, he was still lying.
Yeah.
he was still telling lies about certain things, and I'm just like, okay, well now I can't trust you at all.
Right.
Okay, but why would he tell these random people who don't even like him?
First of all,
his
touche.
whole life?
I totally
To
agree.
keep his story going.
He's doing this on purpose. He's sabotaging the whole K4 because he's like using Michaela and her adoption against her.
That was sketchy.
It was very sketchy, and he's like, well, you know, I want to know because it is my dad. Like, he's just using this whole little guilt trip to get them to trust him and to
I
let
kind
him
of believe
in.
it. Oh gosh, I kind of believe it. I actually think it's legit that he is just trying to what other reason could he possibly have to be there than trying to find out about his dad? Now, obviously that when you know that your dad that you never met was murdered, that goes into it. So it's like,
So
what
why
do you do?
Why would he be on the phone with Miller? Why would he be leaving Miller? Why were they in cahoots?
Great question.
See, he can't be trusted.
tell me.
I'm trying to tell you, don't trust him. Listen,
I don't trust
close your
him.
eyes when he's on screen. I
Right.
know it's easy to get food,
Okay.
the smile and everything, but
I'm hungry.
oh my God, did she say she's hungry?
I sure did. I sure did. On that note,
Before we move on to our next topic, we just wanted to thank you guys for making us the ESPN of TV Talk and for helping us continue to grow. We could really use your help. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, that you give us a rating on iTunes, and that you leave us a comment. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to me because I get to connect with you guys at home, and some of us have become really good friends, and I love it. So thank you for supporting us and doing what we love.
yay!
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Y'all are so funny in chat right
Yes,
now
you guys.
too.
Oh, let her eat black magic. Can we just say,
God.
I love that name again. I know I talked about it last season.
I love
but
it so much. Someone mentioned how did he even know about Michaela's adoption, but I feel like they've talked about it a lot. Maybe it just like came up.
not
You don't think
really.
so?
The fact that she didn't budge when he said that, because even when he said, weren't you adopted? I remember feeling like, oh, she's about to question him. Like, how do you know that?
But
Yeah.
But she didn't. And I was like,
so maybe they talked about it.
They
just like
didn't,
in
though.
past. Well, or that we didn't see. Like they.
I still, he is not to be trusted. I still do think that. I've just been having a little doubts because of the last week, but
Yeah.
I still do think that Gabriel is not to be trusted.
I just don't know why. Like
He was
I
like, they
believe
made
that
him
he's
seem-
actually there to find out more about Sam.
They made him seem so nice and like innocent this episode, but like I think that was just a play. Like
Yeah.
he was just like doing that as a front.
But doesn't he have the right to, if that's his dad, to find out how he was murdered? Obviously, we have the loyalty to the people that we already know, but I feel like the intentions actually aren't bad. I feel like that's what he's there for. Obviously, that's bad for them, though. That's what I mean. But the Miller thing doesn't make sense. And now he's about to get himself pulled into something even worse because the investigators are calling him, hey, he's the one that sounds the most guilty at this point.
Right.
should
They
just
found
throw
out who
it
I was.
on Gabriel.
I think that's what they're probably going to try
Well,
to do.
they said
Yeah.
no. They are trying to do it to the governor.
Well, they're trying to do
That's
it to the
gonna be
governor,
very
to the cops, to everybody.
Annalise is gonna get involved, and I'll save this for predictions.
That voicemail, okay, so since we're talking about the voicemail, that voicemail made me so happy. Like, it relit a fire in me for the show for some reason, because
Yeah.
I kept thinking, I can't wait till they find out Gabe was talking to Miller. Like, I just want them to roast him, like, just put him on a fire.
Wow.
I know.
You didn't have this energy for Rome.
It's not Rome. Love Rome. It's Gabriel. I told you guys.
Yeah.
And the way that I just don't like the way he moves. I believed him up until tonight.
Believed him about what?
I believed that he was a genuine character.
No.
Up until tonight, I believe
Okay.
that he really just only came to figure out about his dad. But even the fact that Analise had something to blackmail him about when it came to Vivian and the drugs,
Yeah.
that was alarming to me. And how you didn't know that was your mom's ex?
I don't get that part.
I mean, but
don't,
do you know all of your mom's exes?
But
hope so. God.
he and his mom were so close, and it was just the two of them. That's what he sold it on during the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like I don't think that he'd know his mom's entire sexual history.
Especially if they were like using drugs together and whatever.
I was looking for something to throw at him. Entire sexual history. Like, nobody's talking entire sexual history,
I'm just
CJ.
saying.
Well, they did a lot of drugs. You never know. Sometimes it goes hand in hand. But why? Okay, so Annalise was trying to blackmail him about his mom to get him to stop snooping so that the governor won't press on her trying to adopt Wes. That's what we're What?
It's a
what?
reach.
Like, what did I even say right there?
So
I
that's,
don't even
you
know.
were concerned. You were confused about that while
I'm
we were
still
watching,
confused.
and
Yeah.
it's because remember when the governor and Annalise were working together, and the governor had tea on Annalise.
Yeah, the adoption.
It was the adoption. So Annalise doesn't want the governor to tell anyone that she tried to adopt Wes because that would make her look uncredible when it comes to Sam's murder.
Right.
So if they find out that she was trying to adopt Wes and she knew Wes all along and she was a part of his childhood and his history, then it's going to seem like Wes and Annalise were in cahoots in murdering Sam.
But why is she taking? What does that have to do with Gabe, other than the fact that she just wants him to stop looking? But why would she take blackmail about his mom?
Because if the governor finds out that Sam has a son who's here, and she already hates Annalise, she may feel more willing to throw out the whole West thing.
Yeah, I mean that makes
Gabe
sense.
is a
of course.
trigger.
Yeah, it just seems like a random piece of information. Like I was like. And I understand because they thought, okay, his mom is the thing that's going to get him. She is the one that, you know, he, like you said, he's so close to, he whatever. So if anyone thinks that information could come out about her potentially having involvement in this man's death because of the overdose, it was just a little like, oh, okay, it's a little too like cheeky, I guess.
I just got
don't
a
know.
really good prediction.
Oh gosh, write it down so you
don't let me
remember.
forget.
Write it down so you remember. What else do we have from the episode that we need to talk about before we get to like all of our news and gossip and predictions and everything?
Everything.
I told y'all my notes are all over the place, so I apologize for that. Oh, I did think it was interesting or kind of a little tidbit that Christopher had the blood on his blanket and that she didn't even think to ask anyone. She just like stares at it.
She
Oh my
tried.
gosh. And then, well, she did eventually, but only after Michaela had said there was blood on Bonnie's leg that night and she knew.
No,
Yeah, I feel like she was just trying to like just let it go though.
no.
That's bad if you're at the point where you're just going to let blood on your baby's
On your
blanket
baby.
go.
But like she's probably knew like the group has done stuff, so it was probably Bonnie, and she knew that, but
Yeah.
she didn't want to draw attention to it until Michaela did.
Yeah.
Guys, after she found the blood on the blanket, she immediately called Bonnie, and Bonnie's phone went straight to voicemail because her, Frank, and Nate were trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah. Okay.
So she wasn't gonna let it go. She was gonna say, "Hey, what's up with this blood?" She didn't get it, and then before she could double back,
Yeah.
fire.
Well, I told y'all it's just confusion and craziness, but that's okay. We have some good. No, let's do Keating's.
Oh yes, the
Yes.
special segment, guys. It is called Keating's Best, and that is basically we go and talk about who the MVP is of the whole show, the episode.
Yeah.
So, April, you want to start
Oh,
off?
you always start off with me, CJ.
Okay, we'll start.
No.
Okay.
I'll start. I think that Asher is the MVP of the episode. Oh my gosh,
Keating's
I know.
best, yes.
I think Asher is Keating's best because you actually made me think that when you said everyone technically needed him tonight. And you know
Go
what?
me.
He did come in clutch.
Yeah.
And the problem when it came to Nate's, anyone that Nate needs that helps him, I love because I love Nate, obviously. But in the moment, and then you helped me think that too, because whenever he actually admits to everyone, it was Nate. You're right. A lot of the issues that have popped up in this group have been because of them keeping information from this person or this person or this person. And so he just came forward with it, even though I think it was idiotic. But I'm going to go with Asher.
Asher's killing it.
Way to convince me at the
Right.
end. I
I
wasn't
was like-
feeling it at all, and then you're like, and I'm like, okay. Well, Mike Keating's best is gonna go to.
Asher.
Oh gosh, this
No.
Asher lover. Mike Keating's best is gonna go to Laurel. And let me tell you why. So the scene when Gabriel came over the house and he started asking them questions and really wanting to figure out like if they were going to say anything, and she started crying about how
Oh, yeah, you're right.
she started crying about how now you're bringing up my ex-lover and he kept this from me. One, it was a really great performance. Two, she was really down for the cause. Like she was supporting everyone in the room. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know what you guys might say, but let me go ahead and sell this. And she did, and
Yep.
she wins.
That's a good point.
Okay.
She did do really good.
And usually she's not as loyal as she was tonight. So I'm going to give it to her tonight.
Okay.
I like it.
So mine is going to seem unlikely, but it's going to be for Nate because I feel like he was very calculated this episode. I like his acting. Do I like how his character is turning into like this bad guy or whatever he is? No, but I do like Nate. I like how he was in this particular episode. So yeah.
I like it.
Okay, so my Keating's best. I'm not gonna choose Asher but I do agree with you. He killed it. I'm gonna agree with Jamie. I think that Nate was tonight's Keating's best. No, but really.
Jose Medina, you lose $100 because he said $100 says CJ picks Asher.
But no, I do think Nate should win because he came up with this whole plan to get it all together. He even was smart enough to fight that guy to help his hands
And to call Bonnie.
Yeah, he killed it tonight. Asher kills it all the time, but Nate really stepped up. He wins for me. Let me know in the comments who you guys think your Keating's best is. If you agree with me or April, either one wins.
Just us two.
Let me just say that the people in the chat room right now make me feel like I didn't have a good Keating's best.
I thought you had no, yours was good.
Trent King says Bonnie. A lot of people say Bonnie. But you know,
Really?
Y'all think Bonnie did well in the interrogation? You are crazy. I thought she did so bad. Someone just said that and then I skipped over.
I feel like they mean Liza as far as her acting, the actual actress, because Bonnie herself, I don't know about that.
Bonnie's gonna come crashing down. She just realized that the only person who ever really loved her truly and genuinely may have innocently been murdered.
And she found out that he was innocently murdered.
Well,
at the end of the
next episode.
Holy crap.
We don't know.
Hold on, we forgot to talk about that. Bonnie listening to the voicemail.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much to happen in this episode. Bonnie listening to the voicemail. This, in my opinion, confirms that obviously Miller had nothing to do with it. He was doing exactly what he said. His phone was dead. He told Bonnie that he was just calling to check up and make sure that it was okay, and that is literally what she listened to him do.
Yeah. He's a nice guy.
You don't think he could
I was gonna say, it was how they put it. I don't like when the show producers and the writers, I don't like when they do this to me because they built up all this anxiety about Miller being possibly the bad guy.
Yeah.
And then for this episode, now he's the sweetest person ever. He's leaving. I'm going to make you pasta tonight. No, it's what? I want pasta.
I was like, you be my boyfriend.
And then when the voicemail plays, he has this innocent, cute voice. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Miller.
Yeah.
But it's only because he's dead. Why do y'all play me like that?
Wait, Keisha Charmaine says Miller was not innocent. I don't know. Barbara Boyd says Keating's best is Oliver, hands down.
How?
A couple people said Oliver as well.
How is Oliver?
He was staring at a knife majority of the night.
And he's the one that was is still going with investigating Gabe. He straight up was like, I would like access to his spy cam. And he's like, no. He's like, okay, well, I'll just hack it. So just give it to me anyway.
I love Oliver.
I know.
They're
Oliver's great.
all in this relationship together. It's kind of scary.
I know. Okay, let's do some news and gossip.
Yay.
Gossip.
Okay, you guys. So let's, start with the cast or whatever. So I want to show you a picture of a special guy. So let's show that picture. And I want you guys to guess who this is. Let's see if you know who this is.
I saw you looking at this earlier. I was like, whom?
He was like, who is he? Can you guys guess?
This is
Sam's brother.
Oliver's dad.
Oliver's dad?
This is so funny.
In real life?
No, that's someone's son.
Who is it?
No, this is actually Pete Norwalk. He is one of the writers and producers. And so it's
Why would you do that to us?
No, not many people know what he looks like.
I know his Twitter.
No, honestly, I did not know what he looked like until today, and I wanted to show people this picture because
he's kind of fine.
Right? That
at that
smile,
smile,
though.
right?
Okay,
This
I'm
show,
blind.
everybody with their good teeth.
Right. But he's just one of the geniuses behind this show, and I wanted to let you guys know what he looks like, and I wanted to also show you one of his tweets. If you guys follow his Twitter, sometimes he will, give you some updates on behind the scenes of the writing process. So he says, part of me wanted to write that Eve and Analise just climb into a bed, make up real fast in this episode, but that's not on the story. So just wait until you hear what Vanessa's up to in a few minutes. So that's what I like. He gives you little sneak peeks, little bits of what you can find out.
I knew it. Sorry, guys. Remind me about Vanessa. I knew it.
Okay, gotcha. So next we have, of course, our lovely Viola Davis. Analise, she played an incredible role in every episode, but last episode and this episode where she's battling addiction, Analise, Viola answers a fan about a question she has. She says, how do you feel about AK's back and forward battle with sobriety? Viola says, it feels very real to me. It is the day-to-day struggle and triggers that all addicts have. It's why 12 steps in AA exists. So, double A battery. I I was like, let me say AA. Okay, correction, guys. But that's what Viola says. I love that she's interacting with the fans, and
I love Viola.
Of course.
Viola's always the best.
I actually thought about that this episode when Eve asked her if she was drinking again. I was like, I wonder if Viola has any personal struggle with any type of addiction, shopping, whatever it could be.
Like, how does she get over that herself?
Shopping.
But this last picture we have, okay, if you guys remember last week, we spoke with Rome Flynn, a.k.a. Gabriel, and he was saying how the person that played younger Gabriel is actually Tom Verica's son. So his name is actually Dante, and so Sam, Tom Verica is Sam Keating, for those of you that do not know. So in last week's episode, they were playing together, and this is them side by side. So I remember,
brothers, kind of.
And Elena, I remember you were asking her, like, I want to see a side by side, so we don't have the younger version of Rome, but there it is.
Yeah, they looked so much alike. I saw this photo floating around last week, and the resemblance is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Also,
it's those brows.
It's very interesting to me that Sam Keating, Tom, in real life, really loves black women. Just saying.
Wow.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, not only on the show, but in real life, Dante mom.
He's swirly. He's
Yeah.
down with the swirl.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Do you have a younger brother, Tom? I'm available. Just saying.
Y'all killed me right now.
So you guys, that was news and gossip. There we
That was some amazing news and gossip. I love it. Okay, now let's talk predictions.
Ooh, whoa.
And now,
That's scary all the time.
I love it.
It is kind of spooky.
What y'all think? Well, I want you wrote one down. So tell me
no. You guys are
what
gonna
you
steal
have.
mine.
So I think I was talking about prediction earlier, but I kind of forgot what I was saying. Did we?
Oh, you gotta
Was
write
it
it
with
down.
Bonnie?
What?
Was it with Bonnie?
I don't remember. Go to me last.
It's okay.
So I kind of have two.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the less important one first. The whole Vanessa thing. When Eve came out and was like, Vanessa's pregnant, for some reason, I didn't feel like they were really trying to have a baby. I think that Vanessa has been having an affair with the whole man, and Eve don't know about it. So Vanessa's pregnant with her side boyfriend's baby.
Wait, what?
Ooh, I like that.
And now Eve's going to come back around into Analise, and Annalise going to have to deal with her heartbreak. I don't have time for it. That's one of them.
I like it. Okay, what's your other one?
No.
No,
You
but
said-
okay.
Let me remember it.
So mine, just because a lot did happen today, I feel like we'll definitely find out more in the next episode. But Bonnie will or needs to go off, okay? Like, just everything that's been happening, something's gonna snap within her. Nate, it's already happened. I just feel like someone is going to spill the beans, whether it's Asher, whether it's Bonnie, or somebody, but I just feel like it's gonna be one of the two. It's a lot going on right there. So I feel like a lot is gonna happen with that. I want to know a little bit more about Michaela's adoption. I was thinking about that last week before.
Why though?
Well, because we literally, there's a backstory on most people. We don't know as much backstory on Michaela and her mom, and why she doesn't talk to her. It's just she's too seemingly clean. Besides what she's done with the K4. So, yeah.
Okay, so my prediction, I think that Annalise is going to take over the whole thing. Nate's plan is not going to work at all. And then Annalise is going to take over the whole thing, and I think she's going to take it from pinning it on the governor and pin it on Gabriel. And to try to get him out of their lives, and that's the easiest target because he did call Miller last, so.
You're right.
Yeah.
I think that I actually like Gabe's character on the show. I think he brings a little something, so I almost don't want them to blame it on him because I feel like I don't want his character to leave the show. Also, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Hope not. If it's a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
I love it. Rome was just picked up as a series regular, so that means
is
he is gonna be in.
He's gonna be there for a while.
He's gonna be in for a little bit.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Congratulations to you, Rome.
Exactly. So I almost hope that they don't do that. But I think it's gonna come out who. I think people are gonna find out that Nate killed Miller.
I think that's gonna come out easily. So my second prediction was that Gabe is going to find out that Miller's dead, because right now he's the only one who doesn't know that he's missing or that he's dead because he's in his own world. And I think that he's gonna blame it on Annalise. I think that he's gonna go to Annalise in rage almost, and basically, you killed Miller. And in him being angry with her, he's gonna spill his cahootness with Miller, she's gonna find out everything and be able to like.
Yeah. Who do you think? A little off topic, but who do you think will try to make a move towards Analise first, out of Tegan and Annalise's boss? I forgot his name.
Crawford. I think Crawford will try.
Crawford.
He's gonna try and do like
Annalise
the
will like go for one of them?
Oh, I think yes, but I almost think she would.
I don't imagine it.
I almost think she would for both. Not like
Really?
in a bad way, but just in a like, oh, I'm lonely. Okay, you
Just
happen
not
to be here
Crawford.
type of way.
Not right now. She's
Annalise,
too busy.
don't do it.
She
I
got
don't
too
know.
much going on.
We'll see. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us. We loved y'all in chat. Thank y'all so much for chatting. And y'all say the most hilarious stuff. Be sure to rate us on iTunes, everywhere you can possibly find us. Comment on, because we want to know what y'all think all throughout the week. Y'all can find me everywhere in the meantime at April Wissenhant.
And you can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
Hey guys, Twitter, it's Jamie Gray. Instagram, Jamie Gray.
What's up, guys? CJ Walker. You can find me everywhere at ICJ Walker, even on YouTube, because I'm a YouTuber.
Y'all can find all of us at AfterBuzz TV, and we will look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Later, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.